Hello and welcome to the Nerds at Large Spoilercast for Avengers Infinity War. I am one of your hosts, Darby Hallman.
I'm Jeff Mayo.
I am Will Outlaw.
Oh, that was
dramatic.
Nice reveal there.
Thank
you. If you've never watched one of our spoilercasts before, we're going to start out with a brief spoiler-free section and then move into full spoilers and spoil the mess out of this movie. And I am so ready to do so.
Yes.
First off, spoiler-free. Go around the table. Spoiler-free. Batman does die in this movie.
Yeah.
I really hate to inform you.
Yeah.
Going around.
Saw it coming.
How do you feel about this movie, Jeff?
I loved it.
Will.
I really, really liked it.
Okay, I loved it.
Yeah.
I think we have two love it and one really.
I'm right there. Yeah.
Okay.
Love's a strong word.
Love is a very strong word.
Okay.
I understand you don't want to throw that around, but I feel pretty confident in saying that I think this movie is at pretty much right up there, in the top 3 at least in Marvel movies for me. Potentially number 1. I don't want to say it right now just because I'm way too much in the high off of the movie. But for me, it was really just kind of mind-blowing how, I feel like this movie could have failed on so many different levels. With the fact that it was a culmination of, 10 years worth of these movies. It was juggling, 20-something different characters. I don't know.
More, probably.
Probably more than that. Yeah, probably more like 30 characters. And had to try to make it all, feel like a cohesive whole. And I really feel like, for the most part, it nailed that. When characters were meeting, it felt, I was excited to be these guys are about to meet these people. It was really, really cool, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, it was everything we wanted it to be. There was characters meeting other characters that hadn't met before. Guardians finally met some Earthbound heroes for the first time. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was a few things lacking, but I'm glad in retrospect that they didn't happen in this movie because we know that there's at least one more before everything goes to waste.
Yeah,
we don't know what the future looks like, but
I kind of went into this movie knowing that it's half of a 6-hour movie, basically. I mean, because they filmed this in one chunk already, and I knew this was going to be half the story. And honestly, that didn't bother me that much because I feel like it was fine. Everyone says a lot of things about how movies it doesn't stand on its own. To me, it doesn't really need to because it's the culmination of all these movies coming into there, and we know this is part 1 of a 2-part thing.
Yeah, I mean it never set up itself as a movie that you can just go into and watch and enjoy. It's supposed to be literally Avengers 21 or whatever, It's the 21st movie in this series.
So, I mean, and it's 10 years worth of movies.
Whatever.
Yeah, and we're not going to get to it yet because we're still spoiler free, but I like where they ended it. I thought that was a good place to end it, to wrap up this part of the story to lead into the
I do too.
Next year's movie.
Yeah, it ends in a climactic way. It won't spoil how it's climactic, but and it definitely, I wanted to watch part 2 immediately. If they gave me the option to just stay in my seat and watch another 3 hours, I probably would have done it.
Yeah.
It was one of the quickest 2-hour, 40-minute movies I've ever watched.
Oh, yeah.
It went by so fast. And, I mean, obviously that's a large part of it due to just how much action there was throughout the whole movie. I felt like there was never a boring moment in the movie.
No.
There's always something happening on screen. It's always exciting. So, it was fast. It was good.
And just, again, without spoiling why, I'm very excited to get into why, but this was, it was weird because, this movie had a lot of serious tones to it. It was, a lot of serious things were happening, there were high stakes and everything, but also at the same time, this was, the most comic book movie I've ever seen in my life. Where
it's not even close.
No, it's not at all. Where the action, it was some of the things, the visual effects and stuff you were seeing out there, it was bright and vibrant and kind of wacky in a lovable way. And somehow that didn't clash with the seriousness. It was really pretty incredible how they did that.
And I think they finally struck a good balance between funny and serious.
Yes.
For the first time in several movies.
That's what we didn't really get to talk to you. Me and Jeff just recently saw Ragnarok finally for the first time. And I think I remember you saying, I definitely agree with you that I think like Ragnarok's really funny, but half the jokes fell flat. It was just the entire it was a little too much. It was leaning a little too much into the.
I don't want to. I don't know about you, but me and Darby also didn't care for Jeff Goldblum, so that didn't help.
Did he not like it?
No, I don't know.
Okay,
he was fine. I mean, he wasn't.
I couldn't stand him, but it was just. I mean, Jeff Goldblum is a very charismatic dude, and I get that, but he's not a good actor. It's he was just playing Jeff Goldblum, and it just seemed like they just gave him lines that he didn't know where he was exactly.
I have some things to say about Ragnarok. But I think we should go into.
But we'll get that for the
spoilers.
MCU review.
Yeah. Yes, we do want to do that at some point. I mean, any other spoiler free? It's really hard to talk about this without talking about spoilers.
Let's just get into it because let's face it, anyone who would be wanting to watch this has seen it at this point. We're not we're doing this really quickly.
No. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen this, go see it. It's really does the whole MCU a great service. Mm-hmm. I think it's really awesome. Really, really good movie. All right.
Really, really good movie. Darby Hallman. That's going to be on the box.
Yep. I'm sure whenever they put out the DVD. Yeah. Okay, so from this point onwards, full spoilers. Make sure you have seen Infinity War if you're going to watch this.
Spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Everyone's dead.
Everyone's dead. I mean, that's almost completely accurate.
Did y'all see that thing of Mark Ruffalo spoiling it?
Mm-mm. Yeah, I did.
Oh my gosh, Darby. It is so funny.
How bad was this?
He's in a interview with Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
And the interviewer is talking about how Ragnarok, I guess how Ragnarok had sort of a sad ending, even though it was a funny movie. And he was like, wow, just wait until you see the next one. Everybody dies. And Don Cheadle's like, what? Dude! And it is one of the most awkward moments I've ever seen in my life.
How do you mess up that bad?
Because he is.
They're like, am I in trouble?
Yeah, it is so cringeworthy, man.
Oh,
it is even better because he starts saying half and then catches himself, but still says everybody dies. I'll have to show you it. It is so awkward. Please look it up.
The thing is, if I remember right, if Don Cheadle didn't say anything, he could have played it off as a joke.
Oh yeah, that's the funny thing is Don Cheadle was
made it worse.
He was so mad. Yeah, he was physically mad.
I have seen the thing where Tom Holland was almost spoiling things 1,000 times, and Benedict Cumberbatch was having to be nope.
I'll take this question.
We know you're excited, kid, but nope.
He is bad about it. Tom Holland is terrible about spoiling things.
Did you hear about how he walked into a screening?
No.
Did you?
No.
He walked into a screening thinking it was a after screening Q&A. So he walked in, but it was before the movie started. Yeah. Oh boy. So he walked in and he was like, "Hey guys, I'm alive."
Oh no.
And then Benedict Cumberbatch comes out and he's like, "I'm alive too," just so that it wouldn't be as awkward. He was trying to cover it up. It was so weird.
I mean, it's still kind of the same thing. They both died.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's still kind of true in both cases.
Yeah.
Anyway, this movie, there's so many things to talk about, and I want to talk about them all, but I don't know why this is just where I want to start.
Deaths.
I mean, I want to start with Thanos.
Oh, okay.
This was almost kind of a Thanos movie.
Yeah.
I felt like the main arc of the movie was followed, it was almost like it was a origin story, not really, but it was a movie about Thanos. We followed Thanos through. He's really the only character that had an arc, really. And I thought that was a very interesting and really good choice because, especially since Thanos was basically being introduced in this movie, we've seen him in little
teasers, hearing about him from Gamora a little bit.
Yeah, there was a little bit of building, but as far as him as a character, this was basically it, and he had to live up to being this big, the big bad of the whole thing, even though we had never seen him before. So I think this was probably the only way they can make that happen, and he was phenomenal.
I agree. He definitely had a presence about him, oh, this guy's gonna mess some shit up.
Yeah, he was intimidating, and you actually kind of like Killmonger with Black Panther. You could see where he's coming from. Obviously, he's
twisted way, but
he's a genocidal Hitler maniac. But you can kind of at least it's logical where he's coming from.
The fact that he thinks he's doing the right thing is what is intriguing about it. At least
it's kind of the whole thing. Yeah, kind of like Killmonger. He's the hero of his own story, and the difference is this hero actually succeeded compared to all the other ones we've got.
Right, which also makes it interesting. And it's just a lot of these things like I could have seen coming, but it was still just the way they did it was great. And just
a lot of misdirection in this movie that I thought was pretty amazing.
Misdirection and just everything is for, like in the marketing and everything is everything made it seem like it was going to be Cap, Iron Man, and or Thor that was going to kick it. What could still happen in the next movie, but you didn't expect Black Panther and Spider-Man and all those people,
all the new people,
and every Guardian by Rocket when everyone started getting dusted.
Yeah.
I mean, ironically, I think we said before this recording, like all the people who didn't get vaporized or whatever are the ones that I'm honestly most worried about permanently dying, because obviously Spider-Man has like 2 more movies signed up. These people are not staying.
Guardians is filming next year.
Yeah, obviously these guys are not staying dead. I think the original Avengers are the ones that we have to worry about the most. But that was a huge misdirection that like worked really well with there. And the fact that I think like before this, me and you were expecting that I thought the Guardians would maybe be at this movie at like the very end, as kind of a teaser for the next one. I didn't expect them to be like one of the central parts of the story, which maybe I should have. I also didn't really watch the trailers that closely because I didn't want to.
I mean, I'll say this about the trailers. I think they did a really good job getting you hyped for the movie, but didn't really tell you much about it as far as like who exactly is meeting who, other than you know when they're exactly on screen. But you figured, more people will meet up, will be different things, and how long they were going to be in the movie. Yeah. Because based on the marketing, you would figure Guardians very little, like we said, or at least we thought, and Cap would be in it significantly more than he was.
Way more.
Yeah, Cap was actually barely in this movie.
Which I'm okay with, considering...
One of the only disappointing things, in my opinion, for the movie.
That's one of those things I agree. I kind of thought at the end, like after it's like, Cap wasn't much. Then I thought, well, half the cast is gone now.
Yeah.
He'll be a big part of it.
I expect the part 2 it's going to be like kind of like the last huge big hurrah for the original Thor. Avengers.
Yeah. The only thing about that puts the kind of thing in that also is, well, Thor and Iron Man still got a good bit, but Cap didn't. Figure Cap will get a lot more of a role next movie. It's kind of be the thing that brings people together.
That is disappointing, but I almost feel like if they had one more plot line to juggle,
that's true.
It might have started getting cumbersome. Like it was just some sacrifice had to be made in some plot line,
Sure, yeah.
And I kind of understand that it happened there, but there was also like so many pairings and like pairings that I didn't really expect. Like I never knew that I wanted a Thor Rocket team. So
I think that was the best part of the movie.
Oh, it was awesome! Yeah. It was so good.
Thor Rocket group buddy cop movie.
Yes,
that's what I wanted.
There was never a moment where I was like, man, I'm kind of bored. I want to go somewhere else, to a new scene. But I was always looking forward to getting back to Thor.
Which you always run that risk when you have this many plot lines. Like I think Game of Thrones hits this a lot, where it's like certain plot lines are way more interesting than others. So then when you're in one, you're like, come on, can we get back to the other? I never felt that with this. Yeah. I was very interested in every single group we had there. Especially, I think like the scene, we're jumping around, but the scene where like the Guardians meet Iron Man and they'll immediately think they're a villain, which you probably would. You're showing up here.
Why is Gamora?
That was Drax is just the best.
So good.
How long have you been there? An hour.
Slowly. What a weirdo.
I don't know. Like that whole scene was just amazing. Do you want to kind of go through the timeline, Jeffrey?
We can.
A little bit, just to kind of...
Okay, yeah, we'll start with this, though.
Start the movie.
The start of the movie, on Thor's ship.
What a start.
Like, right after Ragnarok. No. So, if you did...
Before even that, the soundless intro.
Oh, yeah.
Holy cow. Man. I was like, I'm so worried about this movie.
I legitimately already got goosebumps when that happened. When it was going through the whole animation, you just hear the radio signal.
That's the perfect way to be like, oh, okay, so this is the kind of movie this is.
Going to be serious. And then it ends the same way, just like very... the font. Silent font.
That was such a perfect... It was like, there were so many ways that this movie got started like a lot faster than even I expected.
For sure, yeah.
And it was just like, we're not messing around. It was immediate.
No, it's kind of thing of... It made it clear right away. We're going to use the time we have in this movie wisely, and everything's going to be important in this.
Like, we don't even have to show Thanos arriving. Like he's just.
I mean, they kind of did at the end of Ragnarok.
Yeah. But they're just like, all right, we're gonna cut in, and he's killed everyone.
And I thought it was
half.
It was really cool to like skip. It was really cool to skip that battle and just show you the aftermath of it. And it kind of like, I mean, I've seen some people like complaining about it, which I don't know what to think, but the ending of Ragnarok, while it's sad, it's also kind of ends like uplifting, where it's like, okay, well, Asgard's not a place of people. We're gonna move on. Have all these people, whatever. And then the immediate next thing that happens is they get eviscerated.
Massacre.
It's kind of insane. Yeah. But to start that way, I think a lot of us expected Loki to probably die immediately, just because, or at least I did, just because he took the Tesseract or whatever, had it with Thanos. I thought it was pretty clear to me that was going to be how the movie showed, like, here's your first big death immediately.
Yeah, which I think was smart, just like immediately setting stakes.
Yeah.
And also the kind of thing of, what more can they do with Loki at this point?
That's fair as well.
But I like that, even though I saw that coming, what I didn't see coming was, like, Thanos just completely annihilating the Hulk. Like, just not even, like,
I love Loki's line that was a callback to the first Avengers, where you're talking to Thanos like, we have a Hulk. The same thing Iron Man said to them, and then...
Yeah. The whole interaction between Thor and Loki was actually really cool in that scene. For the brief time they had together,
I think Chris Hemsworth is just becoming a better and better actor.
Oh, he is.
And Thor just become a better and better character.
He is. I mean, if you go back to the original Thor, it's like, yikes. It's kind of hard to go back.
Yeah. I feel like I have a lot to say about Thor. But before we go too far, I want to go back to the Hulk fight, because I think the most interesting thing visually about that fight is you could tell that Thanos was like very calculated and fast. He was like quick punches.
That's kind of one of those things. Thanos can match Hulk in strength, but he's actually a good fighter. Yeah,
and it was really interesting seeing that happen, because you just realized how much powerful he was.
And I thought that was smart to make it seem like the Hulk could land punches on him, so it's not that like Thanos is just that much more powerful, it's that he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. He's
and the
scary
choreography in that, like when he picks him up and like slams him down, like, it felt hard. It was some nasty hits.
It was a great opening scene for sure.
It was the perfect way to open it. And then it was just like, when moving on, when you get to Tony me with Doctor Strange and everything, just the fact that like how soon into this movie there was he had like got a stone, or he was getting a stone or whatever, and like launching out into space, and we had like Iron Man like on the ship leaving Earth, and it was like, God, we're like 15 minutes into this movie maybe.
It was seriously bang bang bang.
And it was like, oh, well, there's Iron Man met Doctor Strange already. We don't even have time. Just go.
Here's Spider-Man. He's already in.
Ned is in this movie for like literally 10 seconds.
Can we talk about I need a distraction. We're all gonna die.
I love it.
Doesn't even know what's going on. He just immediately.
I just imagine him coming in for set for like 30 minutes. And they're like, okay.
All right, Ned.
You're good.
Your name gets put in the credits of Infinity War. Congrats.
Yay, Dragon Pig.
Oh, it was good.
Here's a cheeseburger.
Now let's kind of speak of Spider-Man real quick. I'm interested to see what they do for as far as marketing goes for Spider-Man Homecoming 2, since that's coming out like 2 months or something after Infinity War. That's going to be
a real hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard people speculating that they're gonna show like teaser trailers of like a world without Spider-Man type of thing.
That's what I've seen too. I feel like there's no way you can just bring it out and be like, here's Spider-Man swinging around post Infinity War. It's like you can't, even though we all know that he's gonna come back, you can't do that. So I imagine there'll be a lot of sad Aunt May.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you saw Russo Brothers confirmed Aunt May is alive.
Oh, thank goodness.
She survived the dusting, so we're probably going to get a scene between her and Tony next movie.
Well, I told him...
that would suck.
That's like one of the only reasons they kept her as live, is just so that Tony has to tell her, and it's really sad.
Dang, yeah, that would be sad.
It's probably going to be sad.
Yeah, they confirmed that her and Howard the Duck are alive.
Oh, thank goodness. Howard.
Yeah.
He can't die.
Yeah.
Also, I love Doctor Strange in this movie.
Yes.
I liked how much of a role he had, which, honestly, he's like one of the most OP characters in the whole thing, so he kind of needed to be involved.
And, well, he had Infinity Stone of his own, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But I thought his interactions with Tony was also some of the best in the movie.
That was a good team. I like the Tony, Strange, and Spider-Man team.
I did too.
It was fun.
I did too. And it was, I mean, you kind of have the two egos going against each other, and then Spider-Man is just hanging out, basically, which was a lot of fun. I guess I'm just thinking about everything around there. Probably the only thing that looked bad in this whole movie is all of Thanos' little henchmen people. I thought
they were kind of pointless in this movie.
They gave... I mean, like, more specifically, the other two that were in Wakanda and stuff.
The woman and
the guy who was torturing Strange. I mean, he kind of served more of a
that's
thing,
true.
But none of them looked great to me. They all looked a little cartoony.
I mean, one of them was literally Squidward, though. So.
And they did make the Squidward
I love
joke,
that they made the joke.
That's worth it alone. That's worth it alone right there.
I mean, yeah, those characters are weak, but we needed scrubs.
You did. You needed kind of like henchmen people or whatever. So, I mean, I don't think that they were in it enough to where it mattered that much. It wasn't that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
I guess just because we're looking through the list, what was your favorite storyline or team?
I mean, I'm partial to just the whole... I mean, if Guardians and Tony and them all count as one thing, I just love the Guardians so much.
True.
And I love Iron Man and Spider-Man so much, and I thought their interactions together were really, really, really good.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that was the most interesting team, maybe just because there was the most people. But, man, I loved Thor.
Thor and Rocket.
He's so good.
Thor coming in Wakanda.
Yeah, oh my gosh. The best scene.
That might be the best scene
I think
in
it
the
was.
MCU. Like, in the whole thing, it might be.
He actually came off as like, wow, alright, now we're real.
Well, like, I love how, like, in the last, like, Ragnarok in this movie, Thor is just suddenly, like... like, one of those powerful, just insane people.
Because I feel like before in the Avengers movies, it was like he was part of the team, but now it's like when he comes down, it's an event. Like, like he hasn't been on Earth in a few years. Like something's about to go down.
Now, do you think it would have been better with the Immigrant Song?
No, I don't actually. Okay. I was not a fan of the Immigrant Song.
What?
It's good for Ragnarok. You know, it fits Ragnarok.
Did you not like it in Ragnarok?
No, it was fine. It fit Ragnarok, but I don't think it would have fit in this movie.
Okay, I mean,
you think so?
I think it could have gone either way, but I like this movie was having so much fun. I wouldn't have blamed them for let's just do it one more time. Let's just do it one more time.
For some reason, whenever I think of that scene, the Wonder Woman theme song comes in my mind.
Now they should have done it. And they just flip over and Groot has headphones in.
That
takes the earbuds out or something,
and he's playing his game.
Yeah. There you go. That would have.
I like it.
Okay.
And I like the Stormbreaker. That's the name of it.
It was cool. Yeah.
I like how they handle Groot's arm.
Oh yeah.
It looks less cool, I think, than Mjolnir.
It does,
but I'm into it.
It does, but I'm glad it wasn't just kind of like, oh, you have Mjolnir back. You know, I'm glad it was. That would have been a little cheap and a little, I don't know, boring. I'm glad it's something.
I did hear a criticism talking about how that kind of did a disservice to a lot of Ragnarok storytelling because the whole, that whole movie was about, hey, you don't need a weapon to be a god, like you're still super powerful. And then he's like, I need a hammer again.
Yeah.
But
in a lot of ways,
fine.
This movie kind of like stomped on Ragnarok just in the way that Ragnarok's happy ending is immediately crushed.
Well, and he got an eye.
Yeah,
and
what the heck?
Patch. Yeah.
That was dumb. I love the eye patch.
I really felt like that was just, I'm really tired of wearing this eye patch. Can we please?
I'm already tired of it.
Can we please right away?
And then they were like, well, you still have to put a contact in. He has like a brown eye now.
Well, and they're like, how we can't have the two eyes glowing if he has an eye patch. That's true. I guess. I guess I want to jump to, I just want to try to hit all the things I want to talk about. I thought Gamora was also awesome in this movie. And, like, she kind of cemented herself as more of a character. And I really like that storyline. Like, I really like her and Thanos. I mean, just right from the point when they came in there, did you guys, like, guess that was, like, fake?
I did not.
Like, making that, I didn't catch that either. But Jeff is smarter about these things. I don't know. I love it, like, in The Collector, whenever he was making the reality like different. Did you catch that?
I caught it before the reveal, but not like at the beginning or anything.
Yeah.
Like the moment she kind of stabbed him, even though I was like, okay.
I mean, it was pretty clear that he was.
I didn't completely get. I did think, what if this is fake? Reality Stone.
I wasn't thinking. Also, I love how they use like all the different stones and like you actually kind of understood what they made. What they weren't just like abstract, little bright gems. They actually like showed him using.
I agree.
I don't think we technically don't know what the Soul Stone does in this.
That's the only one that is like not really known yet.
Yeah.
But
the MCU's.
I mean, of course, the common theory right now is that all the dead people are trapped in the Soul Stone.
Yeah, at least that's what people say. Gamora's in there, and that's how they're going to bring her back.
Yeah, probably. Which kind of sucks. I wish.
That is like, how do you feel? I guess how do you feel about this movie with the fact that there are lots of deaths. There are like way more deaths than we ever thought there would be, but they're kind of deaths with that asterisk. Like, I think Loki's gonna stay dead. I think Vision will probably stay dead. That's about.
Honestly, I don't think even Vision with that. If they unless they destroy all the Infinity Stones, they could just rebuild him and put it back in his head. He may not have all his memories potentially, but
yeah, I mean, I don't even think they need the Infinity Stone anymore.
I mean, yeah, even that they could. Yeah,
I mean, I mean, obviously Loki and Heimdall are dead, but I wish Gamora would stay dead, but I don't know if she will. But I really think it was interesting that they created stakes, but they're all kind of false, you know?
Yeah, I'm
okay with it.
I feel like normally I would be more upset by this, like, because I just feel like I would be upset because it seems like they're trying to pay off stakes that we all know don't exist.
Well, I'm about to say the whole all thing. I don't think that's necessarily the case. Obviously, we know, but based on what I've seen and just reactions, especially for my first screening, people do believe those characters are dead. Yeah, because I
guess not everyone pays attention.
Exactly. Not everyone knows there's another Black Panther movie coming or another Spider-Man.
It just seems so obvious to me.
It's hard for me to understand that, but I've heard that a lot of audience members were genuinely crying. Like, what? They died?
I mean, either way, it was impactful. I mean, it's emotional and everything. Even though I know they're coming back,
and maybe that's like the wonder of it all is, wow, we know that these characters probably aren't dead, and it still hurts.
And it still hurts.
But I think there's still going to be stakes going into the next movie because we still had the thing of Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America all these dying.
I think that what they do next movie will impact a lot of how we end up looking back at this. Yeah. Because, if at the end of the next movie all these people come back and no one else died and it's just nothing changed, that's going to be a problem. I'm thinking that this almost means that next movie is going to be even more of a bloodbath as far as at least more than one of those four I think are gone. If not all four.
I mean, they've been setting.
What four are you talking about?
Thor, Cap, Iron Man, and Hulk.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because they've been setting up the universe with Spider-Man and Black Panther and Doctor Strange and Ant-Man kind of taking the mantle and stuff. And they're still in Captain Marvel now.
Yeah. And
doing the next, be the next Avengers or whatever they do next. And there've been all these rumors about Chris Evans and Robert Downey and Chris Hemsworth all leaving at some point. This is the perfect time to just...
Yeah. No, I think it's pretty clear that Captain America is going to die next movie. Don't know how, but I think he will.
I feel like his story's kind of wrapped up.
It has to be. And Bucky still has 6 movies on his contract.
Really?
Yeah, no joke.
I don't know that.
I know either.
So he's probably going to be Captain America. Have to imagine. But the more
either him or Falcon.
Neither of those excite me.
The more I think about it, the more excited I am that I don't think Tony actually has to die. I think he could not be in the rest of the movies and just be he's still around.
He could retire. I mean, I'm done with this. I know you don't like the whole passing the mantle thing, at least a lot of the time, but they could make someone else Iron Man.
Yeah, I mean, I want to have this conversation in some other video or something in a thing because I'm very interested to see I just feel like from a movie-going audience, I don't think that's going to be successful. If they try to do the passing the mantle thing, I don't think people are going to buy it. Honestly, I've been wrong about a lot of these things. I've thought that this whole thing would be done by now.
Now that the hype of its popularity.
Yeah, I thought that this whole thing would lose popularity at this point, but I just worry about that. I almost think it would be a better thing to just focus on the new characters that have been established, like Black Panther and Spider-Man and all of them.
I mean, it's okay as long as that'll make Jane Foster Thor.
I could do it. Patty Jenkins directing it.
Yeah.
What other big things do we have? I guess there's the battle at Wakanda. I didn't think it looked
underwhelming a little bit.
I didn't think it looked quite as bad as the Black Panther battle. Like the CGI looked a little bit better. There weren't the rhinos that looked like god awful in Black Panther.
Yeah.
But
Steve Rogers meeting Groot.
Yes.
Pretty good. Pretty
Oh,
good.
God.
Steve Rogers.
I am Steve Rogers.
This is my friend Tree.
Tree.
That just
Rabbit.
killed me.
Rabbit.
That was so good. But yeah, I thought that the battle, like the Wakanda battle, was just kind of like obligatory giant battle that we love. It was a little thing.
And this kind of thing, yeah, get Black Panther and Captain America something to do.
They gotta fight something. Black Widow has to do something in this movie.
I love that they just break away and here's the all-girl battle.
How did
it was like
that was a very
like,
apparent.
All right, come on.
That was a little too on the nose.
Yeah.
But how did y'all feel about the lack of Hulk?
I thought he was in it a good amount considering everything. He was arguably in it more than...
Well, I mean like actual Hulk.
Oh, actually.
Like...
I'm okay with that just because of the whole... I kind of get it because especially they've done more of the thing that Bruce and the Hulk are separate minds at this point, and that he got his ass kicked by Thanos. It makes sense that he's scared.
That's what I thought. It was kind of powerful that it's like he was afraid. Like the Hulk was afraid to come out because of what Thanos did.
He survived, so we're getting Hulk in the next movie, and now just be badass.
I wasn't too upset about it.
No.
Yeah.
And honestly, I've said this to Jeff before. Like this, I think this is a personal thing. I don't really like Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk very much. I just don't really buy him. He's just the one. Like I don't know. Every time he's just the one that I feel like he's acting the most. Like everyone else I buy, but like I just don't really like his character very much. Maybe it's not Mark Ruffalo. I just don't like the way they write this Hulk. He's kind of bland and kind of.
Hey, at least it's better than the Hulk from the actual movie.
It is. No, it definitely is. I'm not arguing that Edward Norton should be in there. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, going back to the Gamora storyline. How do you feel seeing Red Skull as the...
That was cool. I was spoiled about that.
Were you?
Yeah. That was unfortunate, but it was still cool.
Yeah.
I didn't see it coming.
I was like one of the few movie figures just kind of looking around that like, that's Red Skull.
Yeah. So, I don't really remember the end of Captain America. Does it make sense that he's there?
He was sucked into the Cosmic Cube. What do they call it? Tesseract.
Yeah. Yeah, he was crashing to the ocean, he had the Tesseract, and then stuff happened. And it being the Space Stone, that makes sense.
Okay.
I don't know how he's still alive, or why he's just there, but it was cool to see him.
Chilling on this.
Because the Soul Stone chose him or something. Therefore, he is immortal. I don't know if he dies now because Soul Stone is out.
Yeah. I like the idea that he could come back now. He could be a horrifying presence in the new movies.
The thing about that, I feel like this is just more of a glorified cameo than anything.
Probably. But
yeah, I think it was probably a nod.
Yeah,
more than
it's like, okay, we want to do this with the Soul Stone. We want Gamora to be sacrificed. You know, Thanos sacrificed Gamora, have that thing. So how we want them to learn about it? We have someone there. Who can we get it? Do we make him a character? Oh, let's just bring Red Skull back because it kind of makes sense with what happened to him. Just as a cool cameo.
Yeah. I don't expect too much to come out for it. I think that part of the whole thing's done.
Mm-hmm. What did y'all think about Star-Lord? I know a lot of people hate him in this movie.
I understood his from his perspective. I understood why he did what he did. I thought kind of,
and it fits his character.
I thought using that. I wish that they had gone with something else. It was It was. I thought just leading up to it, it was very telegraphed and obvious.
Yeah, exactly. That was my problem. It was just like, well, I know this is going to happen. Okay.
It was very obvious, and I wish that there was some other way that Thanos wanted other than Peter Quill was an idiot. I mean, I understood why he did it, but it was just a little lame. And because I understand why he did it, but it was also if he didn't do that, then the whole rest of the movie wouldn't have happened, probably.
Yeah. They're going to have some work to do with making people like him again.
Right. There's
for sure.
Definitely some...
It's going to be fine. Guardians is going to come back. He's going to say a couple quips and everyone will laugh at him again.
He'll dance some more.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Play some 80s music.
Just thinking about that, I like that they mentioned the dance-off.
Yeah.
He's embarrassed about the dance-off. And that also just... them mentioning the dance off and stuff, it's crazy how different the tone is from these characters in these movies, but it still makes sense. And they've built up this universe so well that literally they just pop up like it's in space. You go to space and it says space.
Yep.
And like you just hear that music play and you're like, oh yeah, here we go.
Guardians time.
And it's like everything's been so serious, but then like suddenly it's like we're just chilling with the Guardians now. And then like later on, like Steve Rogers or whatever says, oh, I know a guy, and then just the Black Panther music starts playing. Like all of these different tones, like they use them like music wise, especially like I feel like the music in this movie was like way better than it's ever been in any other Marvel movie because they were actually not afraid to use like the themes and different things.
I think that's something that for directors, for like the people who direct Guardians of Black Panther, they had their input for a lot when those scenes came up.
Yeah, I think I heard that, and you could tell because it was like it really was. They used it like a hodgepodge of all these different things, and like actually like brought the good elements of all of them together. They didn't try to make them, you know.
Yeah. This movie, the more I think about it, the more it's like, man, this shouldn't have worked as well as it did.
It really shouldn't have.
Well, speaking of tone shifts, I think one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie was Rocket talking to Thor. And how, I don't know, to me it showed me that the funny Thor in the last movie wasn't just being funny, but he was like trying to hide a pain almost. I was like, wow. I don't know, Chris Hemsworth nailed that part of the movie for sure.
His facial acting during, like, it kind of like hangs on him.
Yeah, he's just like, he's in between a frown and a laugh the whole time. It's like, I don't know, I thought it was...
It almost makes Ragnarok better.
Oh, for sure. It made it for me, yeah.
Like, yeah, I really like... I'm glad that... Because I appreciated the, like, funny and, like, crazy Thor. Because, like, I like that a lot better than the other ones. But I'm glad that they're... Yeah, it's not just, like, a gag. They're actually, like, addressing it.
Yeah.
And Rocket is the perfect character to do that with. Because he's kind of... He had his own version of that in the Guardians movies. Where he's kind of this, like, sarcastic and witty person. But deep down... feels a lot, and we've seen him go through those. Those two characters are actually very similar in a weird way.
And we'll probably get more of that next movie, considering they're together, and both of them have pretty much lost everyone they love.
I want to watch Guardians Volume 2 again. The more I think about the movie, the more I like it. There's so many emotional moments, but go away. Yeah, that was really, really good.
Yeah.
What else happened?
We technically not talked about.
Go ahead.
That's like we haven't talked about Vision and Scarlet Witch.
That's where I was.
That's because they were the worst part of the movie.
This was actually the first time I actually like somewhat started to care.
I mean, I agree with you. The worst part of the movie, but it's not necessarily a bad thing in this case.
Yeah. I mean, I probably agree too, but I still did like in Ultron. I hated. I was like, God, what? Who is that? Like her and Quicksilver. I was like. I've never cared about her, even in Civil War. Like, she was just kind of dead weight on it. But I
liked her in Civil War, actually. But.
This was the first time.
Like, we need powerhouses.
I was like, I found myself caring about her in Vision or whatever. Because, like, I felt like they had enough screen time to build it. And there was kind of, like, an arc of what was going on. There was enough meat there. And, like, I was not annoyed by it, though. I actually kind of enjoyed
I will say that the introduction of the Black Order, is that what they're called? The Thanos' minions.
Oh, I don't know what they're called.
The introduction, whenever he just stabs Vision, I was like, "Holy cow!" Like,
I jumped.
That was intense.
I jumped the second time. I knew it was coming.
it was like, because it was pretty early in the movie as well, and you're just like, "Holy cow!" They are just going after everyone.
Yeah, I felt bad for Jeff because like I didn't know if I startled you by jumping because like I was just sitting there. I suddenly like launched forward and I felt embarrassed. I was like, well. Not expecting that at all. Oh, also, like, this is so random, which is all over the place, but Captain America showing up in that train, his train station, where it's just he's silhouetted and just comes out there.
Yeah, that's one thing.
So
I'm glad glad I saw it with you. I saw it twice, like one time with you where the crowd was a lot more chill. Yeah. But there's also a lot of fun seeing it for the first time with the I guess day after opening day crowd where it's filled, where everyone was clapping and everything. Those are big things. Especially the main things were Cap showing up, just Wakanda going there, and the Thor scene, of course.
Yeah.
It was,
and a lot of what when everyone got dusted and who was getting dusted. Like the reaction to Black Panther. Oh boy,
I can imagine. Oh, anything else? I feel like we're missing things because there's just so much that happened in this movie. It's a dense movie. It was one. I need to see it again.
One of my, it's not really a problem. It's just me being a nerd, I guess. But I wish that there was better iconography. Is that a good word? For the characters in the movie. I like that you are able to see the progress of everyone. So, Captain America's in his, black suit now. He's all tore up and stuff. But on the same time, I'm like, I wish he would have his real suit on with his shield. And, I wish all the characters would be in their status quo to some extent.
Isn't his shield broken or gone or something?
It's gone.
Yeah.
Tony took it at the end of Civil War.
Yeah.
So he'll get it in the next movie.
Yeah, or just weird things.
Because Tony and Cap did not meet at all in this movie.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, which I was expecting. Tony never got back to Earth, which
no.
Yeah,
him and Nebula are alone on Titan,
which is a weird combo.
Yes, but it's also, I think, the best ending I could think of. It's just Tony sitting there thinking about all the people that just died in front of him.
He saw. Well, Spider-Man died in his arms.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. I mean, I guess I was going to say just from the... I kind of like just visually that this was a little different. It kind of showed, the effects of everything that's happened. That Captain America has been living in hiding for, years and everything. So he has this, grizzly beard and all this other stuff or whatever. And Thor, I wish that they had kept the eye patch. Like you said, I thought it made Thor look more interesting like that. But that Spider-Man scene... Holy crap. Honestly, maybe I'll have to argue with you on it or something because I haven't talked to you about it. At this point, I feel like anyone who says that Tom Holland is not the best Spider-Man, I don't know. I can't put myself in that mindset.
Well, I'll say for Will, I don't know how he feels. You still haven't seen Homecoming, right?
I watched it just before Infinity War.
Oh, you
nice.
Found it? Yep. How would you think?
I liked it. I did not like it as much as other people. I really
I'm
liked
sorry
it.
if we overhyped it.
No, it's fine. It's just it's such a different Spider-Man than what I think of when I think of Spider-Man. So I think that just changes it for me. But I mean, within that universe, it's perfect. You know?
Yeah.
So
which ones have you not seen? Or have you seen all?
Just Thor: The Dark World, and I'm not going to.
Yeah, don't bother.
I'm not going to.
Okay. Especially watching it now is even worse.
So once we see our last movies, we can do that.
Which ones have you not seen? Just
Doctor Strange, Ant-Man.
Oh, okay, Doctor Strange is on Netflix. So.
Yeah.
No, I have no excuse for not seeing it.
But. Even regardless of who's the best Spider-Man, Tom Holland is an insane actor.
Oh, he's great. Yeah,
and just that scene, as soon as I don't want to go. I'm like, he's coming back, and it's still almost makes you cry. And
for
just,
sure.
I don't know, Tony and him, their dynamic is also one of the strongest things in the MCU, probably because those are the two strongest actors. Or at least two of the.
Yeah. That definitely helps.
It's almost still insane to me that Spider-Man is in these movies now.
Yeah, it still doesn't feel real. It's what?
He's been in 3 MCU movies at this point.
Yeah, seriously.
It's getting closer and closer to where it's it just feels like it's stable. It's oh yeah, of course Spider-Man's in here, but you have to remember that for years and years
it wasn't until a couple years ago where
that was never going to happen. That was just a myth that we were oh, if only.
Literally just because North Korea hacked Sony. Is that a thing? That's...
Wait, really? I don't think I know the story behind this.
Yeah, North Korea hacked Sony and they needed money, basically. So they allowed Disney to help out.
I mean, they shouldn't be complaining, especially since the best they have right now is that Venom movie.
Yeah. That's another story. But
yeah, that's another story.
All right. Something else? I don't know.
Are there parting thoughts?
There was something else I was going to say. Oh, no.
I like the way that they... obviously we knew Thanos was going to get all the stones and he was going to snap and something was going to happen.
I actually didn't expect that. I thought it would end with him just having the glove.
I was thinking for a good bit of the time he snaps and that's just the end.
Yeah.
I thought that too, but I do people have pointed out and I agree with it now. I think a lot of the viewing audience wouldn't know what that means.
That's true.
It,
even though they did hit you over the head with it.
Oh, they said it over and over again, but that wouldn't change people being like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of those things in hindsight. It's the comic people, us, we get it, but...
Right. But my dad or my mom probably would be like, what, he snapped his fingers? What? But I like that the subversion kind of like, like he's drilling, Thor is drilling the hammer or axe now. It's axe now into his chest, and they like keep his hand out of frame so you can't see. He's like, should aim for the head. Boom! That was cool because actually they managed to like catch me off guard with the snap. Even though I should have known that was.
And I thought for a second because it went back to him and the gauntlet was fried. I was like, did that not work? Is everything okay? And then you saw Bucky go down. Like, oh no, it is.
And just the way they shot all those scenes where it's like they would have more than one person in the frame, so you didn't know who was about to evaporate. It was really hard to tell. Like,
play against game, like who's gonna be next?
Like I think everyone in the world expected it to be the
Okoye.
Is that her name? The Black Panther defender lady, and then it was him. I was like, wait, what?
That was great misdirection. And then you start realizing that it's just the newer heroes or whatever. But the other
and all the Guardians. I did not see that. I didn't expect it to be all but Rocket.
No, I thought like maybe Drax or something would go, but
I was about to
Drax and Rocket.
I also did not expect everyone but Tony and Nebula to go on Titan.
Nebula, that's weird. Yeah, but the best misdirection in this movie, Tony getting stabbed and not dying.
I'm pretty sure everyone thought at that point, he's dead.
Yeah.
He's gonna die.
I completely, like, I 100% was like, okay, we knew this was happening. I had to, like, tell myself, like, okay, you knew this was happening.
And then he did the thing, like, he kind of, like, froze, or cauterized the wound, was like, oh, so he's gonna be okay, huh? What's gonna happen?
He didn't even die, and I think that was actually the most emotional scene for me. Even more so than Spider-Man.
And I like that, like, I mean, I guess I was too dumb to really think about it at the time. At the time, I was like, this is kind of weak. It's like, what? Doctor Strange doesn't even know Tony, like, at all. But it was really that he saw the future, and he knows that Tony has the being. Like, he only saw one.
No, I figured that out immediately. Like,
I should have, and that
they set that up well.
That actually makes that really strong, where it's like, Strange is just, he's like, I'll make this sacrifice, like,
and it's like,
because I know this is the only way.
It's the only way. We're in game last time.
We're in game.
Because if they tried to make it the personal thing of like, I just couldn't watch him die. Like, all right, come on. All right, number one, Strange is a douche, and number two, like, really, Strange is not a nice dude, which is part of why I like him as a character because it's different. But I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah.
So that was, I mean, I thought he was dead. So that was also very,
so sad.
It's also a gamble on Strange's. I mean, just the whole thing was a gamble because so Thanos has to get all the Infinity Stones, and Tony has to live for all this to work. But Thanos has to get the Infinity Stones, and Tony happens to not be on the path that dies. There's lots of gambles where it's like, well, roll the dice. You better not get dusted. Okay, so I think we got two more scenes we gotta definitely talk about. One, just the ending scene of Thanos just at the little hut looking at the sunset, like he said.
Which I thought was really, really good, too. Like,
good ending.
Again, it's another thing that cements, I think Thanos is one of the strongest villains, if not the strongest villain in the MCU, is that, like, he's not ending this and just, like, I'm going to be a tyrant. He's ending it and sitting back, like, because he thinks that he just did the right thing. And he's just, like, watching out into
I mean, that was one of those things I was really worried about with this whole thing. They've been setting up Thanos for, 6 years since the original Avengers, pretty much. Like, they got to nail him. If they don't, then this is all kind of a waste.
I think he's my number one villain.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only other people that compete is Vulture and Killmonger for me, and I just Brolin's acting was insane. The fact that it's like an all CG character, but like the face acting was brilliant. And I mean, like, especially in that scene with Gamora when she's like, "No, she just assumes that there's like you're a crazy, awful, evil person. You can't love anyone." And then like you actually saw like the emotion on his face. Brilliant. It was so good.
And what I was saying, we got to talk about the post-credit stinger.
That was really good.
There was really just the one, right? The Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we got to talk about it. We haven't mentioned it yet.
Yes. Yeah.
I thought it was really smart. First of all, we haven't seen Nick Fury since
a long time.
Honestly, the most recent
Winter Soldier,
maybe, and probably the most recent time he's been in the MCU is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
He was in there.
Yeah, he's been there multiple times.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I don't think he's been.
They have not really addressed what he's doing. Kind of watch the shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, Winter Soldier was last time, I think, and I really liked how they made they made it like scary. Like people were just disappearing.
No. I think that was great to show, like, yes, we saw all our heroes die, but showed the real world. And here's the thing. I mean, depending on how the whole re-snapping things work, people might, at least normal people, might stay dead because there are probably thousands / millions of people that died because someone else disappeared.
Oh yeah, I mean,
like the person that like the helicopter, like pilot goes,
and you gotta think of all the plans. If a pilot disappeared and everyone else who did not,
I want to get out, but I do. I was telling like Jeff and Alex after we saw it. One thing that I think would be really cool for the next one, like I don't know how much time's gonna pass in between them, so this might not really work. But if there is a like decently long time in between, it would be really cool if there were like people in society that like supported Thanos, because they're like, I was in poverty before, but then when this happened, that would be fascinating. Now I'm wealthy and everything, so this was a good thing. And there's people that was like, Thanos was right and everything. That would be very interesting. That would be really, really interesting.
I agree. I'm interested to see like what they do in the start of the movie. Do they do it like literally right after with like Tony still on Titan, or do they do a time skip and he's got him back or something? Then maybe he says it, or we see it in the flashback.
I want there to be a time skip, but I feel like it'll be right after, especially just because Nebula is there with him. I feel like there's going to be something there. We're going to see something between them. Like I don't feel like it will, but maybe I'm wrong. I think it would be interesting if there was a time skip, and like they don't know how to find Thanos. They're like, we need like. They're clueless as what to do, but they're like, we have to find Thanos, and they don't know where. Because like, if Thanos was smart, he would leave. He would leave Earth and be like, peace, you know. But
I will say that Stinger got me more excited for Captain Marvel whenever that comes out. Next, like, February/March, unfortunately.
I love the with the MCU now, like, I'm so confident in their ability to make these movies awesome that when there's a superhero that I know nothing about, I'm excited. Yeah. Because that means that I get to see something new and surprising and everything. Say that was the case with Black Panther. Like, I don't know anything about Black Panther. And so it's exciting. So yeah, I'm stoked for Captain Marvel, and I don't know anything about her. I know it's set in the 90s and that she's something to do with space.
Yeah. It'll be really interesting seeing how they connect it to Infinity War.
Yeah. Because she's going to be in it.
Also really interested to see how Ant-Man
my prediction is because I think I don't know if they exactly said, but Ant-Man's going to take place like pretty much
I know
during like leading up to Infinity War. I imagine it's got at the end Thanos or Ant-Man or Wasp disappear, or at least the people around them.
I think it has to be like that. Also,
that's either the Stinger or the very end.
I can see Wasp going away and not Ant-Man, and then Ant-Man joining up with the rest of them potentially.
I was just gonna say, I think it would also be a waste if Hawkeye isn't in that movie.
Oh, he's gonna be.
He has to be, right?
Yeah.
I think
they even kind of confirmed it.
In Ant-Man,
they mentioned him.
Were you talking about Ant-Man?
Oh, I'm talking about Hawkeye in Ant-Man.
Oh, okay. I was thinking potentially because they mentioned like them both being on.
Yeah, exactly.
The House of S. I don't know if they mentioned like them communicating with each other or not.
Yeah, it just seems weird if he wouldn't be. I don't know.
We might get a little thing of them being texting buddies, like, yo, how you doing?
Hey, Scott, how's it going?
Yeah.
I'm sure Hawkeye will be back in the next Avengers.
That was actually surprising to me. Even though he wasn't on the posters and stuff, I just assumed he would be in the movie. Both of them.
I'm not too surprised just because of how many characters they had to deal with.
I'm honestly okay with that.
I'm okay with it.
Yes, for the sake of, this is a bloated movie, but they handled it really well, so...
That's what I feel like. This movie is teetering around the edge, and if you just added a few more weights, it would all go good.
And since they took away half the characters, them inserting Hawkeye, Ant-Man, and Captain Marvel feels fine next movie.
All I want out of Avengers 4 is for there to be a quick scene where it goes through where all the people are, half the world's gone or whatever, and you see the Defenders having to fight some people. Just a quick pan.
Really small in the bottom corner. Just so you can barely see it.
Daredevil, Luke Cage. That's all I want. Just confirm that they're in the universe.
I wonder how... I'm interested to see where I'm probably not going to watch because I'm behind on all the...
Is someone going to disappear and people are going to start disappearing?
Luke Cage coming out in the next month or so.
I imagine they're going to deal with that in some way.
My interest, really if I hear that kind of stuff happens during Luke Cage, my interest in that show will go up significantly.
Yeah, that's true. That'd be really interesting if they commented on it.
But again, I legitimately, there's no way the movie people are doing any of their decisions based off the show. Like it's a one-way street.
No.
It's all like the show being like they watch the Infinity War and they're like, oh, what can we do? You know.
I'm not really sure. I heard that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did mention the whole thing, Infinity War thing, or it affected it already.
Will, yeah.
I think I heard they already have. And they got renewed, which I'm happy about. I'm behind big time, but I want to catch up.
All right, closing thoughts, anyone? Are we good?
Movie's great. Go watch it if you haven't already. But if you listen to this, obviously you have.
I'm very excited.
Could talk about this movie forever.
So we're sitting at exactly a year out. It'll be interesting to see when the next trailer comes out.
Yeah. I mean, they know people are going to come. I imagine you won't start seeing...
I guess question, do you remember when the first one for Infinity War came out?
It was pretty close. I think it was like 6 months, maybe.
Okay, so I imagine it's got to be similar.
Yeah, I'd see this...
Probably winter, after Captain Marvel.
This winter or fall or whatever is when it'll come out. And the post-credits to Captain Marvel will probably have some sort of teaser going into Infinity War.
Yeah.
Like her getting the call, maybe the other end of that. So like, Nick,
at the end, either in the teaser or the very end of the movie, there's got to be some connection.
Yeah. Which I'm excited about that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, go watch this movie. What are you doing? Yeah, I mean, we just spoiled it for you anyway.
Yeah,
this one, so
too late for that.
But check out all of our other spoiler casts we've done for different things, and they're on our YouTube and podcast feed at Nerds At Large Spoilercast.
Yep.
I want to do more MCU stuff if these boys will join me in it.
Yeah.
Yep. And we hope to have, well, not really to MCU, Deadpool Spoilercast probably, hopefully.
Please, hopefully.
Quicker than we normally get these things out.
I really want to get that soon. If you want to be involved in that, then join us soon.
I imagine we'll try to do Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's not far out at all.
Gotta watch Ant-Man, but I'll get there.
You have 2 months.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and Doctor Strange about level.
That's
my opinion.
Yeah, that seems to be general consensus. Kind of the same level, but for different reasons.
I feel like Ant-Man might be a little more my jam. I just like Paul Rudd.
It's a little more fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
More fun. Doctor Strange is just visually really cool.
Yeah.
Which is good. Alright. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank y'all.
Goodbye.